you're looking for your entry actively. Now you're looking for a new shift of structure and a new engulfing where now you can have a better entry. And then there, when it's creating that wick, if it does have that, that's the best area where you then want to have the push to the upside. So the like waiting for the wick is basically waiting for the re-entry, because when the market opens up and it just has the move, you don't have a good opportunity to enter the trade. And while the trade is pulling back, right? So let's show you this did have the pullback and it's pulling back. Don't get like this is more of like an entry strategy kind of thing. Don't get FOMO wanting to enter as soon as it just pulled back 50%. Realize that the weekly has not created the wick and that this has to go a lot further into the area than you could imagine. So don't just want to basically hop right in as soon as it starts pulling back. Realize that it has to create the wick at the bottom, and then there you can wait for another shift of structure and potentially even avoid a loss. You can literally wait for the shift of structure, never get it, and the trade just ended up going into the complete other direction. So the wick trick or the wick thing is basically for you to get a real entry. Like while this is pulling back, you literally don't do anything until it does not break under, create the little wick, and then you start looking for the shift of structure and the engulfing, because now it's officially been at the point where it could have created a wick, something like this. And then if you do get it, then it's the fucking perfect area to then have the push to the upside. So it's more of like an entry confirmation thing and more to avoid you entering the trade at such a high point. Because if the market opens and it just does this, you're going to get a very shitty entry. And you really don't want that. You want to make sure that you can have the best possible entry possible. Does that make sense now? Yes or no? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Again, it's just time. Time with everything. Time, time. All right, let's check it. 1 hour time frame. Did not give us the shit the structure how we wanted to. So we just wait. 30-minute time frame. If you want to count this as the shift of structure, sure. Let's see if it has a bullish engulfing candlestick right now. So let's say you do want to enter off of this shift of structure. Let's see if there's a bullish engulfing somewhere in here. And then the 15-minute, let's say you want to count this as a lower high as well. It did shift the structure. Now it's pulling back. Let's wait to see if we can have an engulfing, which I do think we could because we are approaching the area of interest. I low-key like this 4-hour time frame. Like if the 4-hour would close like that, it would be great. And you might ask me, why? Isn't that a rejection candlestick? And this is now where I want to talk about a little bit of the wick fill. So there's a wick thing / wick trick. And now we have a wick fill. So this one is more of a higher time frame thing, right? So wick fill is mainly for the 4-hour / daily. And I'm telling you right now, this thing works like a charm. And it's going to take some time for you to be able to implement it. It does not happen every week. It does not happen on every trade. It doesn't happen all the time. And there's certain ways how it happens, and it's going to be a little complicated to explain. And I would much rather not even explain it right now. Yeah, I'd rather not even explain it right now. I'd rather save it for like the next 30 days. So remember, after this week is over, we're then going to enter the 30-day post bootcamp, which is basically 2 calls that we're going to answer throughout the week. And we're going to basically do what we did this morning, break down the markets and just see what's going on. And we're kind of like live trading in a way and looking to see what we are interested in doing in the market and basically just talking about the market and then just updating things on the strategy, kind of like the wick fill, stuff like that. And I would like to have and I'm sure it'll come, right? I would like to have a live example of a wick fill and then it play out live. And as of right now, we don't have one. So I don't want to explain something that is going to be kind of hard for it to not happen live. Like the shit, the structure, you guys get it and all that because we have had live examples. And the wick fill, we haven't had one just yet, so I can't really explain it. And we'll wait for this one. So the wick fill, we'll come back to it. There'll be plenty of examples onto that just later. Risk management. So I do want to talk about risk management because I definitely believe that without proper risk management, you can have the best strategy in the world and you will not be successful. Plain, simple facts. You will not be successful if you do not use risk management. I tried to find every single way around this. Bro, it's just fucking impossible. You need risk management to succeed, whether you like it or you don't. And let me actually do this. And I want to talk about risk management on a calendar perspective, right? Just to make sure if you guys can see my screen, type 1. If not, type 2. Like, do you guys see the calendar? Perfect. All right, cool. Thank you. So risk management is something that I like to use in terms of long term, right? Because you have to picture yourself as a investor, right? Yeah, you are a day trader, but you got to see every single trade as an investment. And great investments don't come every single day. Sometimes only every single week, and maybe not even once a month. So these investments that you make, you can't just go like, you know how many fucking pitches I get every single day on Instagram that people want to do this, do that, and they want money for this and that. It's fucking endless. It's never ending. So I do literally like I am playing defense all day, and my capital is it's like my ammunition, and I am very selective on how I pull the trigger and what I shoot at. It should be the exact same. Like each bullet is could have a great opportunity of having a return. Each bullet means something. You're not going to just shoot blankly into the air, into the ground, or into the no man's land because each bullet is very important to you. And each dollar you invest into the market is very important to you. You worked for it. So the way you correctly use risk management is when it's the right time to use it. Well, not when it's the right time to use it. It's how to strategically use it on the right time to use it. Let's say right now that you're hunting, and let's say in June and July, animals for whatever reason aren't at a specific spot that you're looking to hunt. You're not gonna just for no whatever fucking reason just start shooting into the woods, seeing if you hit something. You're wasting your ammunition for no reason. Same thing goes into the markets. June and July tend to be the markets where there's no volume into the markets. So why would you just go and risk a lot of money on trades that aren't really supposed to have a move because it's summer and the markets don't tend to move during summer. So the way I use risk management is when it should be used. So I always am more aggressive on the beginning of the year and the ending of the year. For me, my hot streak is from October to March because it's October, November, December, January, February, March. It's just 6 months of just back to back to back to back to back high intensity trades. Because to me, it's the markets that have statistically shown me the most amount of money. I've always made the most amount of money trading in these months right here. Then I kind of have like a so months when it comes to April, May, June, July are absolutely ass because it's the summer, the banks are closed. And then August and September tend to be okay months as well. So what I tend to do is I tend to have my risk management revolved around the months that I should be aggressive and the months that I should be conservative. Now, the way it works, or the way I'm going to put you onto it right now, is how I used it for, I don't fucking know, 3 years. This is how I did it for 3 years consecutively. January, right? Let's say you want to start off the year on a great month, because it is a great month, on the aggressive side. The whole month of January, you need to risk 2%. No more, no less. It does not matter if you win 5 trades in a row or you lose 5 trades in a row. You have to always risk 2% inside of the month of January. No if, ands, or buts. Does not matter if it's an A plus setup, a triple A plus setup, a quadruple A plus setup, or it's not a great setup. You always will risk 2% on week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The whole entire month of January, you will risk 2% if you win 5 trades or if you lose 5 trades. And I'll explain why in just a second. So when you end off the month in January, whatever you end off, then you decide, what am I going to do in February? 1 or 2%. Let's say, fuck it, it was a great month. We'll do 2% again. Same exact thing. You stick through the 2% for the whole entire month. No modification. Let's say you do the same thing here for the whole entire month. You stick through the same percentage through the whole entire month. If you guys notice, like it's so easy to like learn things off of my Instagram if you just pay attention. If you guys notice, like the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like don't you see that I'm risking the same amount? Like, don't you see that I have the same amount of lot sizes and like my profit is exactly the same? A little bit more, a little bit less because I held the trade a little bit more. But like when I lose 100,000, and when I make 250K. Like, doesn't that like show you something that every trade I'm risking the same amount? Because that's the risk percentage that I decided to use in December. I mean, in November. I decided that in November, I'm going to be risking 100K per trade, whether I win them or whether I lose them. That's just how much I want to risk per trade. Now, if I want to risk instead of 100, 150, 125, well, that's for me to hold myself accountable for breaking my trading rules, but I know exactly what I'm doing. So when I lose more than I should, I can't get mad. I can't go and not live the life that I'd want to live just because I lost a little bit more than I should have. Or I can't go and then be conservative on the next trade. No, if you decide to fuck up, you keep going. You fix your fuck up. So that's just the percentage and the approach that I wanted to take. Now you set whatever you're okay with doing on your account, whether it's a challenge, whether it's just personal, whether it's someone else's money, do whatever you want, but you have to pick the amount that you want to and don't change it for anything. You stick through that percentage the whole entire month. And I'm going to explain to you guys in just a second why. April are okay months. You can cut that percentage down to 1%. And same thing here, 1%, the whole entire month. You stick to that percentage. The whole entire month, you stick to that percentage. Now in June and July, you could either do two of one things. You can either just not trade, or you can lower your risk even a little bit more, 0.5%, and be even more conservative, or you can still risk the same 1% that you would in a normal month. But I would just say minimize the amount of trades that you possibly take. So if you were taking 2 trades a week, take 1 trade a week or 1 trade every 2 weeks. Like, be as conservative as you possibly can in terms of the amount of trades you're taking. And then obviously back in August and July, you can go back to the 1%, how you were doing normally. And then in October, November, and December, you could turn it up again. And then you can go back to your 2%. But the key importance here is that it has to be to the same percentage the whole entire month, whether you win 5 trades or if you lose 5 trades. This is so crucial. You guys have no fucking idea. If this makes sense, say yes. If not, say no. And I'm going to explain a little bit more details into this in just a second. And for my more experienced traders, guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, there's just some really good months, and then there's just some really fucking ass months. Some people say that December and the holidays are slow. I think that's bullshit. I think to me, they've always worked out great. Always, always. I've always done great during these times. Great. So 99 or 98% understand perfect. So why is this so important? Well, let me explain right now. Let me explain right now. If you guys can see my screen, the trading view, type 1. If not, type 2. Great. Thank you guys. All right. So let me see what's the simplest way I can do this. Let me think. Okay. Let's say you have a $10,000 account, right? And inside of this $10,000 account, you decide that you want to risk, let's say $100, right? So let's say you want to go and risk 1%, which is going to be $100. Let me see what type of, let me do some math real quick. Let's just keep the 1% and the 2% just to be simple, right? So $10,000 you want to risk. Shit, where'd it go? It's okay. I can do it right here. Okay. So let's say on a $10,000 account, you're going to risk 1%, which is $100. And then that is going to then be risked on a minimum risk reward on each trade for a 1 to 2, which is going to be a minimum of, let's just keep it simple, right? Of $200, right? So you risk 100 to get 200. Very easy, right? And let's say you take 10 trades over the course of the month, right? And let's say 10 trades over the course of the month. And then let's say out of these 10 trades, you have a 50% win rate. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to really figure this out. Out of 10 trades, you are going to then win 5 and then lose 5. So here we're going to win 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to then lose 5 over here. So every single time you win, you're going to then make $200. And every single time you're going to lose $100. Cool. And by the way, a 50% win rate is very normal. I just say it's on the average end. It's not on the low end or not at the high end. It's very average. It's very, very doable to get a 50% win. Like a rookie can get that. Cool. So here you have lost a total amount of $500. in the negative. And then over here, you have now won $1,000. So if you notice, plus, is it plus? If you notice, your wins have outweighed your losses by double. So you can lose 5 trades at 500 and then you'll win 5 trades at 200. Now, if you ask me, you can do this over the course of 10 years and you will make money no matter what, simply because you have a profitable risk to reward strategy. If you have this same win rate right here, but let's say you fuck up the 1% and you fuck up the risk to reward, all this shit goes out to the window. And it's very easy to fuck this up. Perfect example could be, by the way, this right here is the most normal case scenario. Your win outweigh your losses and you win and lose the same amount of times. Just whenever you win a little bit more than you lose. So this, now let's say we do at a, let's bump it up to a 60% win rate, but you risk 1% on the 10,000 with a minimum RR of a 1 to 2, but this is where you want to come in. But whenever I win a trade, I want to up my risk to 2%. So whenever you win a trade, you're going to up your risk to a 2%. Okay, sure. And now you win 60% of the times. So you are winning more times than you lose. And you are upping your risk. That means you should make more money, right? Well, let's find out together right now. You start off with a winning trade. And this winning trade is going to give you $200. Cool. So you made on this first trade right here, $200. Okay. Now on the next trade, so your account right now is at 10,200. Cool. Now on the next trade that you're going to take, you're going to up your risk to 200. Okay, sure. But then that next trade you end up losing because you think you're the shit. You start seeing things you're not. And now your account is back at 10,000. All right, fine. You know what? I'm Alex G. There's no way I can lose. I'm going to risk again $200. So here we have minus $200. I'm Alex G. I got to take another trade, but I'm going to go back to my 1% because I only up my risk whenever I win a trade. Okay, cool. Next trade, you win it. Cool. You only win $200. Your account is back at 10,200. Back on this trade right here. We're only going to use one because it's going to be a lot easier to manage. Your account is back at 10,200. But again, whenever I win a trade, I up my risk to 2%. Okay, cool. The next trade you lose again. You lose the next trade. Then you're back at the same exact break-even point because whatever you just made, you just lost it again into the market. Cool. It's very normal. It's average. Now you say, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just stick to my 1%. And then on that next trade that you end up taking, go back here, you're at 10,200, you're at 10,000 again. Now on this next trade that you are taking, you're then going to risk 1%. Shit, you lose that trade. So now when you lose that trade, you're going to only lose $100 because you go back to your 1%, right? Cool, normal. Now you're at 9,900. The next trade that you take, you want to risk again the same 1%. And that trade, you win it. Okay. Now, when you win that trade, you are only going to make $200. And when you make the $200, you're back at same exact thing. which is going to be you're up 200, and now you are back at 10,100. 10,100. Next trade that you take, now you got scared because you lost. You only end up risking whatever, same 1%. You risk 1%, and then here you would then risk, or you would then gain 200. Now you're at 10,200, 300. And then your next trade, you lose because your win rate is a 60%. So you have 6 wins here, and then we need another loss. Then on this next loss, you risk your 1% again, and then you lose it. And then let's say here you have a minus $100 once again, and you're basically back at 2% profit. So you did all that to literally only make $200 because your win rate and your loss rate does not matter. It's how you properly use the risk management and how you stick to the risk management. Sticking to the risk management is by far the most important thing, because if whenever you win 200, you lose 200 again, you literally did nothing. Like you just wasted a fucking winning trade. Because on the next trade that you went to go take, and then obviously we would just add one more, and then you would be up whatever, another 200. Like you're up half of this right here. So we have 4 and 4. So we add another win here, which would be this. You go back to risking the 1%, and then you make another $200, right? Whatever. You're up 4%. Cool.